Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Ninjago promotional VIP exclusive set called the Micro Ninjago City. This is set number 40703. It has 339 pieces, and I didn't pay anything for this. I think the market has this around $20, $30, $40, which I know is kind of a pretty wide range here. This was available, I thought, for like 2,800 VIP points or something, and I don't even really want to get into how much money one would have to spend with the Lego group to get that amount of points necessarily, or how to value points. But I actually think the Lego group, when they put up a MSRP for a promotional set or a gift with purchase, for some reason I think this one had it was only like $16 or $20 or something like that, which seemed low for me. This is a miniaturized micro version of the first Ninjago City set, which was the first of, after this was the Ninjago City Docks, then the Ninjago City Gardens, and then the Ninjago City Market. And I think these are supposed to be somewhat similar to like the Houses of the World sets and the more recent, like the Flower Shop and the fruit shop or produce shop or whatever the other one was. And I think this is kind of similar to that. I don't know if it's going to be the same form factor necessarily, but I would kind of hope so. So we'll see. I was really interested in these. I do not have Ninjago City, the original one, or the docks. I had the opportunity to buy the docks, but I wasn't interested in paying how much the person was asking for, and I don't think I've ever seen the original Ninjago City in person anywhere, but this seemed really interesting to me. I think I've done a video that I might have made exclusive and then eventually published for everyone about my build process for the Ninjago City Gardens. I have not built the markets yet, but I'm excited to get to that at some point. Sometimes I sit on bigger sets for quite a while, and so I'll get to it eventually. But either way, really excited about this one. I believe the back does say, collect all four. So docks, gardens, markets here. We can see up here the full version, the big modular style version, really huge, and then we have the micro version over here, which is very cool. So I'm excited about this. I thought this was a great idea, and I was glad I was able to get my hands on this. So in this video, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I'll speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build process for this Lego VIP Insiders exclusive Lego Ninjago or Micro Ninjago City set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching. I'll remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. I appreciate it. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. It would mean a ton for me to get there. We're just finishing up kind of the base layer here, which has some of the water and the first kind of floors. This is a kind of a several story structure here, and then we can start working on the second story. This doesn't have kind of as clean of a modular design between the stories as I would have hoped, and I think that's evident from the build process. In my full review for the set, I do kind of take it apart a little bit so we can see some little of the Easter eggs there and kind of get a feel for if it's intended to be taken apart in any real way. You can see the third level here, kind of the roof and everything there is kind of built on its own, almost like it could be. And then we do add a good amount of details and different things on the side with some other apartments. We do add that kind of bonsai tree with the cherry blossom looking stuff there. And then at the end here, we do this little whole sub-assembly for like the radio tower, I believe, which is very cool. And some nice techniques. Some mold marks on the pieces though. And I think that's it. So now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is this Lego VIP exclusive, Lego Ninjago, the Micro Ninjago City set. This is pretty interesting. It's kind of a dense build. It's very fun. It is similar to some of the Houses of the World, the Flower Garden, different things like that, or the flower shop and the produce shop or whatever else. And I think they're doing more of these. At the very least, it appears they're doing, or they've already done the docks, and they will be doing a gardens and a market eventually to really kind of complete the Lego Ninjago City so far. But this is the first entry to that. And because I don't have this set, and I've never built this set, the full version of this, I wasn't exactly sure about all the Easter eggs in here, and I wasn't like super aware of what the different parts are supposed to represent, but this is still very cool, and I looked up a little bit of what the different things are. So we will get into it, and there are no minifigures in this set, so we don't have any of those to look at. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting about the instructions, so we can just get right into this here. And it starts with a base. I'm hoping they're all kind of on a base like this, I imagine, because what is this, 8x8? And I think docks might be wider than the original Ninjago City, and then the gardens is probably going to be on the same thing, and then the market I think is wider as well. So I'm not exactly sure about that because I don't have the full version of the docks either, but that's where it starts, and you kind of lay the foundation. There's a lot of water kind of surrounding Ninjago City, and that's kind of one of the features of all this set. So the lower level is using some of these light blue translucent tiles and studs various places. There's some greenery down there. There is a kind of tunnel or a bridge here, so to speak, which is nice. And then looking at the back of this, or I don't know necessarily if this is the back, but the original set did come with kind of a separate little fishing boat there, and so we have a miniaturized version of that. We have some different stuff going on in here. I think there's like sewage things and tons of other stuff. I think on the main floor we have like the first floor here. When we start kind of building this light bluish gray base, we tile out a lot of stuff, and then we work on building up, because there's lots of little nooks and crannies in here and lots of little details, lots of different color choices and building techniques here. So very cool. So we do have a bridge, a sewer outlet, the stream. There is in this set, one of the things that connects all the levels is an elevator, and I believe these kind of bricks with the channel are supposed to represent that. So that's on the first floor. There's a house, dining room, bedroom, sliding door, some solar panels somewhere, and some other stuff on the first floor, and I don't know which is which here. We do have this kind of piece here, which I think is supposed to be an awning or something. I think this is all like kind of sidewalk down here, which then can get over to like where the bridge is and stuff like that. I don't know if this is supposed to be specifically the apartment or the house area there, but there's a ton going on. There's a lot of little pieces, which does mean there's a lot of extra pieces here, and some interesting building techniques. I mean, this is not connected to the thing above this. This doesn't support any weight, so it's just studded down there and fits really nice. There's some good use of some jumper plates, like the 2x4 jumper tile with just the two studs there. These 1x2 jumper plates are used nicely, and to get everything to kind of level out here but still have all of this detail and the pops of color and all the little things is really well achieved and pretty fun to build, because it is really dense and neat and detailed. I would love to be more aware of all of the different elements that are in here, like what this little bar piece that something could be clipped to might be, or the vented piece here. I don't know if this is supposed to be a solar panel or if it's just supposed to be like a signage or something, because that's something that is in many of the Lego Ninjago city places. And like using this piece on the side that doesn't really support anything, but that's nice. There's all these little details in there. Same on the inside. Like, I'm not sure what this tile is supposed to represent, or these tiles up here necessarily. I'm not sure what the different colors. I'm assuming they're representing different, you know, rooms, establishments. I think there's some restaurants in here, and shops, and all different stuff. I was anticipating this having a modular design, kind of like the Houses of the World and the Flower Shop set and all of those, and like the full Lego Ninjago city, and as well as city gardens, city docks, city market, etc. They all kind of have a modular design, such that the levels can be separated relatively easily, and that allows for access for play. It also just eases the build process a little bit, and it makes moving them around easier, and there's a lot of reasons why they include that. And for the smaller versions of like the Houses of the World and stuff like that, I guess I appreciated them doing that kind of modularity. There's only like 2 levels in those generally. This one kind of has 3. I don't know if this one technically has that same modular ability here, and I tried it before I started recording the review to kind of separate the couple levels here, and it proved a little more complicated than I would have anticipated, and it seems like there's more studs connecting some of these things than would typically be the case. I can kind of, if I am very delicate here, I can kind of get the first kind of level separate, and when we do that, we can see some of the different stuff here. So we have like these Technic pins, which is going to allow all these different things to connect to each other, all the different micro city things. We can see if this is supposed to be kind of a rooftop here. It actually looks pretty good in this state, even when it doesn't have the rest on there, and we can kind of get a little more access to seeing everything, get a little more light in there. We can see the couple flower studs down there, which is good. You can see kind of more of the building techniques and different things that are done in here, so that's all fine. Like, I think putting a stud in backwards there, or putting a 1x1 plate there, but studying it into like a Technic pinhole is nice. So that's very cool, and that's kind of the main floor of this, the first couple bags of pieces. And then going on from that, I can reconnect this. It's not, I don't think, too difficult. I think most of my issue is with this pillar at the front, and then I think the second story and third story are more difficult for me to detach, but maybe it will go smoothly there, and maybe it was supposed to be designed like that. So that's kind of the first floor. Moving on to the next floor, we do have the elevator continuing up there. We do have kind of like this walkway, balcony type thing, has a bunch of different signage in different colors there. Lots of like vented stuff, tiled out stuff, different stuff up here. I don't know if these are supposed to be like indicator lights for the elevator, or if they're just supposed to be lights of other kind. I also don't know if I have everything color-wise correctly. Like, this one looks green, that's green, this one's green on green, this is orange, this is orange. I don't know if that's right or not. It may be. I can see a little bit of orange in here too, I think. Now, especially looking at it on camera, that seems to be the case. But we have some different stuff on this level. There's a fashion store somewhere in here. I don't know if they made reference to the mannequins anywhere. The construction site is kind of in this level which is up here and has this bonsai tree coming off of it, kind of a cherry blossom looking thing. There's also a comic book store here, a crab restaurant that had a crab grilling function and stuff, and I don't know where that is. I believe that's right here, kind of on the corner, because of the just the color and the red and everything. The original one has a brick built sign, and I actually really like the use of like this piece here. Like if that's the doorway, this piece is maybe the sign, and they used one of those pieces that is a 1x2 on the bottom, and then it has one stud open, and then it kind of has like almost a cheese wedge there, and that's coming in off the angle to kind of create that facade and that walkway there, and it's kind of hanging right over the door, which is really, really nice. I believe there is an Easter egg in here, which is a I think the sushi printed tile is in there, so that's pretty cool. And I think I am having trouble sort of deciphering where this second level is supposed to detach if it is to be modular. My gut would tell me like right up here, so let me see if I can do this in a way that isn't completely destructive. I want to say, okay, so that's pretty destructive, but maybe I can work it out a little bit. Okay, the big centerpiece came with the top. Okay, so now that we have this, we can kind of see this is maybe either the comic book store over here, the fashion store, there's maybe a stand over here, and then in the center is kind of the crab restaurant, and it does have the printed sushi roll tile in there, and that kind of sets up here. Here you can see that piece I was talking about, and I think that's a nice technique to get that on the edge of this 3x3, and then we have kind of like a gap there that's not really a gap because it's just black and kind of convex there, indented a little bit. It makes it look like a walkway, and this actually has the L tile there that goes on the other side, but I can put this in place here, and I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. I don't know if that's a knob for, or like referencing a knob, or if it's part of the construction site, or what this kind of ball Technic pin is put in there it's supposed to represent, but that's all right. And I think that's most of the stuff on this level, but it is very like densely built, a lot of tiny pieces, the ingots used in here, a lot of 1x1s used, a lot of different layers, different shapes going on. This has a lot of different intersecting lines as in terms of aesthetics here that really make this visually interesting, and I think more like authentic to the full play set, which is nice. So lots of good stuff on the second story. The third story, you can see I have a the L plate there, and then this like bracket piece connects over by the elevator, and I believe this kind of orangish yellowish 1x1 is supposed to come with it here, but I can reattach this, and I did actually take off another element there. But as you can see, I think it's not, if it is supposed to be modular, it's not the easiest to work with. It just there's too many studs to allow kind of an easy thing to pop off here. So I'm not really sure about that. The like third level is kind of all this, where we get this sushi restaurant, which in the original one has a function to turn the conveyor belt to deliver food to the guests. It also has like apartments up there, some hidden features and different stuff, bathrooms and all sorts of cool things. There is like different sculptures and stuff in there as well, that I think those kind of smaller details are really, really hard to capture here, except for maybe in a very basic form, almost like the kind of Easter eggs they might do in the MIDI scale Star Wars sets or something like that. But we have kind of like a technical here, little bridge walkway, creating an archway in there. Over here we have kind of an archway. We have maybe the top of the elevator there, and some different stuff. So I think over here is probably an apartment, and maybe some different stuff up here as well. And then at the very, very top, we have kind of these other little details. So I think they did the roof in a really nice way, and I've been impressed by how Lego does kind of, I would say, Japanese inspired architecture of various scales. So they use some really good techniques in some of the Ninjago sets generally, but also some of the architecture sets and different things. But I like how we use these kind of inverted slope pieces there with the curve, and then the cheese wedges and different stuff. I like the little pops of red every so often. A good tile up here. We have some different stuff like lights and satellite dishes, and I don't know what this globe is supposed to be actually, but that's all right. So this is all the roof, and again, I don't think the roof really has a good way of separating. It seems like there's a lot of studs kind of holding this on, so I'm not even going to try to do that. But we do have some nice details, and then we do have the radio tower on top. I believe this faces like this, and this is easy to take off because it's just on a 2x2 jumper, and then it connects to one of those studs from that tile, which allows it to sit at an angle. So then we have the radio tower up here, has some antenna, has some different stuff. I don't know what these are supposed to be, but it's really cool to get that gold. We do a nice technique here, kind of alternating to have those things on either side. The round tile there is good. The one issue with some of this is that these kind of curved pieces here have the mold marks on one side. I could flip all these around so all the mold marks would be on the same side, and if they were all on this side, I would, a lot of them would be covered up, but you can see I still see them there, and I wasn't going to spend the time to try to get those all oriented the same. I just wish those pieces didn't have such a visible mold mark, and I don't know if I believe truthfully that has to be placed there or can't be avoided in some other way. So that's really nice, but I wish they didn't have the mold marks. I think that looks really, really great. I would love to get this set because this is I like to have things of different scales represented in Lego. So same versions of like the same car at different scales, or the same ship, the UCS version versus the Playscale version versus the Polybag version versus whatever. I really think that's interesting to see how the designers adapt and capture the essence of a thing while working with it at much different scales. I'm really impressed by the amount of detail in this. There are no stickers in this at all, and there's not a ton of printed stuff either, but it's nice that there's no stickers, and it's still like so colorful and so detailed and so interesting to look at. I mean, seeing like through this clear here to see different stuff in that like sushi restaurant is very nice. The little hidden Easter egg of the sushi tile in there for the crab shop, all of these different walkways, all of these different colors, little things hanging out, using a lot of 1x1 pieces, but using them in interesting ways. It's not very samey, like the whole build process. Like over here is all super interesting to like use like these 1x2 rounded hollow hole plates in there, using interesting stuff down here. There's some translucent that's like hiding in here, the jumpers, all of this comes together in a really satisfying way. And it took me a while to build it. You know, for a set of this size, it had, I think, 7 bags of pieces, which was kind of a lot. For the most of them, you would open like bags 1 and 2 at the same time. I think the same for 3 and 4, and keep kind of doing that stuff. And it does feel like from the instructions that this is maybe supposed to be kind of modular, because you do build pretty much the whole bottom layer. Then you work on bags 3 and 4, and you get to basically adding on the whole thing, but you do put it on there kind of before it's all finished, which seems to me to, and if they're not like able to just be built completely separately, that seems to indicate to me maybe that they're not intended to be separated at these kind of predetermined places. And you know, some of this like might bleed up into the 3rd floor there and different stuff. So I don't think it's meant to be like that, but I could be wrong, and I could just be bad at taking it apart. But then we kind of finish up the middle story there, the 2nd story. Then we can work on the rooftop, and this one again we kind of make it as its own kind of section before adding it on to the rest. So the middle section is kind of tricky there, so we add the whole roof area as well as the sushi restaurant place. Then we, you know, add on some other little details, add in the cherry blossom or bonsai tree or whatever. Then we can add some different apartments, different roof elements. So it doesn't seem to be built in a way that is conducive to modularity, but you know, I was still able to manage it a little bit. So I think it would be better if they did. I've just maybe not possible. And then at the back of the instructions, it does show us that we can connect this to the docks, and eventually we'll be able to connect it to all the other sets. So very, very cool. And that's kind of everything that's in here. I hope I did a good job pointing out different things in terms of references to the full set. Just because I don't have that set, I had to look some of those things up and guess at certain things, so I wasn't able to be extremely specific, but very, very cool here. I will show the extra pieces. You get a whole bunch of them. They're not particularly interesting. You get all your 1x1s, some bar elements, the lever there, some tiles. You do get an extra of the sushi tile there, which is printed, some flower studs, all your 1x1s, your tiny pieces, all of your super light, super small pieces. So those are all the extra pieces, a good amount of them, and that's good to get all of those. I believe I built everything correctly just based on looking at the extra pieces here. I don't know if I have duplicates where I maybe was supposed to use a certain piece one place and picked a similar piece from a different color. I do have the 2 of these, but I also have like 2 of these, and I think that's because they're from separate bags. So sometimes I would have duplicate pieces just because they're, you know, if one of these 1x1 gray tiles was used in bag 1 and another one was used in bag 5, for example, they would probably add an extra to both of those. So I think I did everything correctly just by looking at this. And this set is 339 pieces. And the Lego Group website says this manufacturer's suggested retail price was, I don't know, $16.99, so $17 or something like that, which is crazy. That's like less than they priced the Houses of the World at. It's just really weird to me. I mean, I think that might be a fair price. I would assume this would probably be closer to 20, 25 or something like that, maybe even up to 30. I'm not positive because I don't know if this would ever be a set that they would sell on shelves. It is a VIP kind of exclusive, needed to spend points to get this or buy it on the secondary market. I'm not sure what the secondary market looks like right now, but this may be, something that's valuable, a little bit collectible. Let me check the price here because I'm just curious. I do know that the first one, this one, Ninjago City was, or the Micro Ninjago City was 2,700 insiders points. That's kind of a lot, but if you are getting insiders points and taking advantage of double points days and scanning in all your booklets and spending a lot of money with the Lego group, uploading target receipts, all of that stuff helps build the amount of insiders points one might have. And I spent the 2,700 on this. I think some other sets, I actually think the World of Wonders or whatever, which had like 4 kind of miniature architecture builds, I think that one was also 2,700. It looks like one of the major online retailers that I'm not going to name sells this for about $40, but it's not specifically from them. It appears to be from somebody who sells on that platform. And then if I can see here on Bricklink, I don't know what they are going for, but if I check here quick, the cheapest one in the USA is $26, $26, which is not bad at all, actually. I would pay $26 for this, and I guess I would have imagined these being a little higher than that, just based on like exclusivity. I don't know how this compares to some of the houses of the world being like locked behind a $250 price point for the gift with purchase threshold or something, even the flower store being like $200 or whatever. If this was a gift with purchase, I'm imagining it would be behind a relatively high price point, but it is just kind of I don't know if they consider these promotional, but kind of an exclusive set, and that's fine. I think $27 or $26 is pretty fair. I'm still a little bit confused by the Lego group saying their MSRP for this on their website is $17. That just, I mean, that would seem, I think, like a good deal, even though this is a small model, no minifigures, all of that stuff. It just seems like something they would have put an arbitrary price on that was a little bit higher than that. As is, I didn't buy this on the secondary market. I bought this with my insiders points. I don't know how much money I had to spend to acquire that amount of insiders points, and I also don't know how much, if you can really convert insiders points to a dollar amount, so I can't really give a great estimate on what that is, but this is a really collectible thing, so I felt fine paying the $2,700 for this one. I think for the docks, it was actually a little bit less. I think it was $2,300 for those, and then for gardens and markets, I don't think the micro versions have been put out there yet, so it's something to keep an eye on if you missed these or not. I'm anticipating those coming out, throughout the year here, so very, very cool. Happy to have this. Can't wait to put this near my houses of the world or near my the flower store. I think people who have like all of the modular buildings and the Ninjago City sometimes kind of put those all together. I know I have my Ninjago City gardens next to a lot of my modular buildings, and when I build the markets, it's probably going to go there as well. It's kind of connecting everything because they do work in a little way. So I could imagine this kind of sitting next to the houses of the world and some of the other sets, and kind of those miniaturized micro scale sets, and kind of making the whole little city there, which I think is a cool idea. And maybe if these keep working out, maybe eventually Lego has plans to do micro scale versions of the Palace Cinema and the corner store and the garage and the detective's office and the fire brigade modular and all of these other greengrocer, all of these modulars that are not up to modern day modular standards, are very, very expensive. I don't think some of the early ones even had like fully detailed interiors, but maybe they could make those in a micro scale version, and I would be here for that. I really like that concept. It's very fun, it's inventive, it's challenging. I think it's a good kind of exercise for the designers, and I'm happy to be able to experience that as well here. So very, very cool. I'm a big fan of this. Can't wait to build the other ones, and that is everything as far as value goes. It's hard for me to really elaborate because it was like almost free but not really, and it is kind of a collectible thing, potentially something that's rare, potentially something that had a limited production run, such that it might be harder to find in the future. So in some respects, it's hard to quantify its precise dollar value here, but I'm really, really happy with it. So that's good, and I had fun building it, and I had fun talking about it. So that's kind of what I'm into Lego for in the first place, is fun. So very, very good here. I like this a lot. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego Ninjago sets, more VIP exclusive sets or insiders exclusive sets, more micro scale things, the other Lego Ninjago micro Ninjago city docks and the market and the gardens and all of that stuff, but then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of those upcoming Lego videos. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. It would mean a ton to me to get there. I'm going to try to give back to the community if we can hit that milestone. So it just means a lot to me. I appreciate it. So thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support this channel in a different way, you could do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. That's a way of showing support by just giving me money, and that's certainly not needed, but it is appreciated, and it does help a lot. So if people out there are inclined to do that, or interested, or and able to do it, then consider checking those things out. It would be really, really helpful. You get some little bonus things and stuff with that, and I'm going to keep, if my channel keeps growing, I'm hoping to kind of adjust the incentives or the perks when joining the Patreon or being a member of the YouTube or something like that. So going forward, if this channel continues to grow, then that might be something to I'll be more kind of invested in here. But anyway, I think that's everything. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.